How do you come up with this stuff? I hear that all the time when I'm creating marketing pieces for myself and my clients. It is an awesome feeling, and I want you to have that too. So today, I'm going to pull back the curtain and I'm going to show you how to do it. My name is Shauna Anderson New, and I'm the president of Spitfire Advertising. We help our clients build relationships, stand out, and help them reach their goal through promotional products marketing. Have you ever felt like you weren't creative? Have you ever sat down to do a creative project and you just felt stuck? You had not one idea in your head. That's frustrating. I totally get it. So today I'm going to show you how you can avoid ever feeling like that again. I mean, imagine sitting down to a project and you feel like, I got this, I know exactly what I'm going to do, or I at least know a great starting point and the process I need to go through to get to where I need to go. I believe that there are 3 reasons why people do not believe they're creative. Number 1, they don't exercise that creative muscle. Number 2, they do not believe in their ability. And number 3 is they don't know how to spark creativity. So today we're going to talk about my 5-step process that I go through every time I am creating a marketing piece. So when you create yours, or when you're working on a marketing project or some other project where you have to be creative, people can say to you, how did you come up with that? So grab out your notebook. Here we go. Step 1 is know what your end goal is. Who's your target audience? What is your objective? Your budget, your deadline, your call to action, your theme. Theme is so important because if you don't start with a central theme, it's really hard to narrow down your focus and be creative because you're starting in thin air, you have no starting point. So I'm going to show you this process using my Star Wars promotion that I just did. So you can see how I created this. I think that's going to be a better example than just talking to you and not showing you the process. I had decided that in May I wanted to send out a self promo, and I always think about what's going on in everybody's lives that time. So there's Memorial Day, there's Mother's Day, there's spring, you know, those are all things that are ones that anybody can do a promotion on. So I was like, let's be different. Let's do something I've never done before. Let's do Star Wars Day, May the 4th. So some people don't even know that's Star Wars Day, but Star Wars fans do, and you're going to see it all over social media. I know that by choosing that day, I am going to be the only one that they are going to be receiving a marketing piece from that day. It's not like Christmas or Thanksgiving or Valentine's Day where you can get lost in the clutter. This is, I know that I'm going to be the only person that they're going to get something from in the mail with a marketing piece. So another reason to do a holiday that's not as well known. So I had decided that my target audience for this promo was going to be my clients who I knew like Star Wars, clients who potentially could like Star Wars if I was unsure, my top 10, talked about that before, so my top 10 people that I focus on always building the relationship with, and I also thought about my clients who love receiving things from me that are creative, so I wanted to send that to them as well. After deciding on these things, it's time to move on to step 2, brainstorming and selecting your winning idea. So how do you do that? First of all, most important, you can get lost in this for days and hours and however long you want to, so have a time restriction. Set a timer on your phone, get into a place where there's no distractions, and then make sure you have a swipe file. What is a swipe file? That is a file where you keep things that inspire you, things that make you creative, marketing ideas you like. Sometimes I just save things and I have no idea how I'm ever going to use them. But you know what? I thought they were cool. They made me laugh. There was something interesting about them. So I include them in my swipe file. When it's time for you to be creative, all you do is go into your swipe file, just start flipping through, and that starts spurring ideas for you. So for me, because I knew I was doing a Star Wars theme and I was sending this out to some people who may not be Star Wars fans, I had to think about when you look at Star Wars, or when you see something that's Star Wars and you're not a Star Wars fan, what can you see that is triggers in your head like that's Star Wars? So I was like, okay, Jedi, the Jedi robe, lightsaber. Lightsaber's huge, right? So that is totally Star Wars. So I needed to do something with those lines. So then you come up with your main message. What is your main message that can tie all of this together, right? So I thought about it and I thought, okay, I'm gonna do a really cool Star Wars quote, something that is fun, is engaging, makes people smile or inspires them, and I'm gonna put that to tie all this together. So I searched, really, nothing. So I thought, okay, Yoda's a teacher, so there's gotta be some really good Yoda quotes out there. You know, besides the most famous one, there was like nothing that just hit me. You know, that's something that just hits you in that spot and you're like, yeah, that's it. That's the one I want to use. That's what I want to do. Nothing. So I thought, okay, let's think of something that is not Star Wars related that we can tie into this to make it Star Wars related. So I got this really cool quote from a friend of mine, and it says, it makes me laugh every time I see it. It says, be yourself. Unless you can be a unicorn, then be a unicorn. I love that. And I thought, okay, you know what? I'm using that. I'm changing unicorn to Jedi, and that's what's going to go on the front of this marketing piece. So then I had to come up with the promo item to use. So I thought, what is lightsaber looking? So I started looking in my database, and you're going to figure this out too. When you start having ideas, you might be going down this way, and then all of a sudden you're going this way. And you know what? Let it go. Follow it. There is no bad ideas. There are no bad ideas. Just go there. You know what? And then other things will spur from it. So just follow your creative genius as it's going. That's what I do. So I was looking at all these things that could be, you know, lightsaber related, lightsaber looking, and just kept not, it wasn't it. It wasn't the right one. And then there's this pen that is so popular. It's one of our best-selling items, and it's a pen that has a flashlight on the end. And I'm like, a lightsaber lights up. This lights up. The only problem is this light on this pen, it's white. And I definitely wanted a colored light because the lightsabers are usually colored. So I was like, okay, out of the almost million products in my industry to choose from, what are the chances that somebody, one of my manufacturers, makes this pen with a colored light? You're not going to believe it. One. Almost a million products and one. I'm so lucky. I can't believe nobody else has done it. And, you know, it comes in the right colors for the lightsabers. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. Now, a lot of people, when they brand their promotional item, they just do their logo with a phone number or their logo with a website. Boring. Okay, so I love to do a tagline. Tagline makes it more memorable. It ties into why they got it, something to do with your company. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put my website on there. So every time they pick up this pen, they remember me and they know how to contact me. And I'm also going to tie it in to it being a lightsaber. So I started playing with it, and I had way too much fun, just so you know, way too much fun with my lightsaber. So I played with it, and then I thought, this is my work lightsaber. And then I was like, people always steal each other's pens. You guys know that. So I was like, hands off. So it's going to say my work lightsaber, hands off, and then my website. And then I was laughing because lightsabers also cut off body parts, right? So hands off could be just hands off my pen, or that lightsaber is coming for your hands if you try to touch my pen. So I totally loved it. I was like, this is it. This is what I'm doing. And so it was time to show it to my creative team. So I show it to my creative team. They love the idea, total thumbs up. So we move on to step 3. Step 3 is the strategy for execution. So when I create my marketing pieces, I want to drive online and offline whenever possible. And sometimes I do this as simple as driving them to the website or driving to my social media, asking them to like my page. I could do contests. There's so many things that you can drive people to online from offline. And this time I decided, you know what? I don't really want to drive them to an action online. I want them to think of me whenever they have a marketing campaign they need or something creative to do, to always think of me. So that was going to be my call to action. But I want to make sure that I get the most bang for my buck, for my time investment too. And so I want to make sure that I'm using this in different places. So I'm going to mail this out. I'm going to post it on my social media on Star Wars Day, and I'm going to do an email blast for it as well. So then I have my execution. I'm using this and maximizing it as much as I can. Step 4 is sketching out the design. So I'm going to dress up in a Jedi outfit. I'm going to be holding a lightsaber, and I need to know how to hold that lightsaber so that the pen can actually lay over the top of it and look like a lightsaber. I had to think, where am I going to put the words on the front? What am I putting on the back? I knew that the message on the back I wanted it to look like the Star Wars movie where it has the angled text that goes up. So I was like, okay, so we have to angle that text up, and then what is it going to say? How are we going to tie it in? Now it's time for the last step, step 5. That is where we're going to actually have it designed, created everything, showed it to my team, my creative team, got the thumbs up. Let me back up a minute. When I showed it to my creative team, one of the members of it said, I think you should tweak that wording on the back. I think it'll be better if it says this. Do you see how important it is to have a creative team where you can bounce ideas off of? And if you don't have a staff that you can be your creative team, you can have it be part of your mastermind group, your accountability partner, friends you know that are creative, friends that you know have your best interest in mind. Whatever it is for you, put a creative team together. Maybe like 4 or 5 people that you can bounce things off of. If you don't have 4 or 5, one's better than none. So they're going to give you insight into things that you missed or better ways to do it, because you've been so entrenched in this project from start to finish that sometimes we miss some of the things in there. So we send everything into production. When it was all done, we assemble it. So let me show you, because people get confused about how we assemble these. So I'm going to show you so you know. So on the marketing piece, you have this, and you make sure it's glossy. Oh, so let me just show you. So it says, always be yourself. Unless you can be a Jedi, then be a Jedi. The picture of me in the robe. Do you see how I had to make sure I was standing correctly with the lightsaber? By the way, that's not what the lightsaber I was holding, but it gave me a template so we can put one in that glows. The light on my face, so it looks like it's actually there glowing. And of course, the galaxy background. And then on the back of it, it says, because any old pen won't do, whether you're fighting off a pesky coworker or writing that $1 million proposal, your work lightsaber will always be ready. May the Force be with you, Master Shauna and the Spitfire Alliance. And on the bottom is the PS with the call to action to think about us when they have a marketing campaign that they need help with. So back to how we assemble it. Here you go, glossy card, and then we have glue dots, and then the work lightsaber. So those glue dots are attached to the back side of this. The work lightsaber, it says, my work lightsaber, hands off, Spitfire advertising. And the light. And then we do a clear plastic envelope. We put it all together and it looks like this. So it looks like it's coming out of my hands. You can see the imprint there. On the front right here, I had put a mailing label, or a label that said, May the 4th be with you, so happy Star Wars Day. And then on the back would be the postage, the return address, and who it is going to. So there you go. That is the 5-step process that I use when I'm creating a marketing piece for my clients and my prospects that I want to use to get them to really stand out. And I hope that showing you this process along the way helps you think of ways that you can be more creative, because I know you are. I know you are. Have some confidence in it, right? Do these things that we talked about. Let me recap the steps really quick. So number 1 is know your objective. Number 2 is brainstorm and select your winning idea. Number 3 is know your strategy for execution. Step number 4 is to sketch out the marketing piece and the promo item you're doing so you know how you want it designed. And step 5 is design it, produce it, assemble it, and mail it out. You know what the great thing about this is? I don't have to use it just for Star Wars Day. So I actually made extra. And that way I can send it out to new prospects and new clients that I want to show them how creative we are. Because this is a fun message that can be used any time of the year. It doesn't have to just be used for Star Wars Day. So think about that when you're creating your marketing pieces too. So if I had put on the card, if I had actually imprinted on the card, Happy Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you, I could only use it for that day. So taking off dates and things like that and putting it on as a label instead makes your marketing piece more versatile. So if you found this to be helpful to you, please share this out with 3 people you know and subscribe below to our YouTube channel. We want to help you and we want to help other people be the best that they can be too, to have marketing that isn't mediocre, marketing that really gets attention and really builds relationships and makes you stand out. So go out there, start creating your marketing today. If you need help, I'm always here to help you. And remember to smile, because happy looks good on you.